everybody. Today on Ozark Overland Adventures, I wanted to talk about off-road navigation, specifically Gaia GPS. I have done a few videos in the past about Gaia, and it's just time for an update. There's some information in those that Gaia has done some updates, and so that's not applicable anymore, so I want to go over some of that. And really just make this a general how-to video. Those were specific to navigating through the Ozarks and some of the challenges there. Full disclaimer, I am doing this in my garage because the lighting is good and my wife's working inside. So there may be traffic that goes by. There's a lawnmower in the distance, so hopefully it won't be too bad. But the lighting is great. Anyway, so I wanted to do this really just as a general kind of a Gaia 101, off-road navigation 101 using Gaia GPS. And show you some differences between the PC version and the tablet version or iOS version, and some of the interface differences there. So really want to talk about three things. One is the interface. Where do you find different things in different places? The differences between the PC, the web, basically the web interface, and the iOS app. Still applies to, I think everything I'm going to say will apply to Android as well, but I don't use Android, so can't be 100% sure on that. The second thing I want to talk about is just general route planning. How do you do that? What's the process for that? And then third is, now you've got that done, how do you download the maps to your device? Because that's the main thing about using any app for off-road navigation, is getting those maps downloaded to your device so you don't need cell signal and everything works just fine when you're out off the grid, away from cell towers where you want to be, but everything still works. So that's what we're going to talk about, those three things. Okay, so here we are in the browser. This is GaiaGPS.com. I'm logged in. I do have the premium subscription, which if you're going to use Gaia GPS, pay that $40 a year. I've actually got a discount code. I think it'll save you 25 to 40% off, depending on how many years you want to buy in advance off that initial purchase. I'll put that link in the description below so that discount code is available for you. Full disclaimer, because I have that link, I am considered an affiliate. I think I make, I don't know, like a buck if you use that link to subscribe and save you money. So it's not like I'm making bank. They did send me a hat and a t-shirt that I'm not wearing now. But anyway, I just love Gaia. I think I've tried multiple tools. I've tried Backcountry Navigator. I've tried Motion X. I've tried OnX. And bottom line is, I just think Gaia is the absolute best option out there for online navigation, and I'll show you why. So here we are in the web browser, and I am zoomed in right now to the Ozark National Forest. I am in Arkansas. The Ozarks are my backyard, and that's where I spend probably 90% of my time wheeling. So I know it really well, so I can zoom in on the map. But here I am in Gaia GPS on the website, and the layers that I have are right here is where you find the layers. And so the layers that I'm using, I keep it really simple. I don't like a lot of cluttered layers. The more layers you have, the more space it takes up on your device when you download them. And I honestly haven't found a need for more than this. So I use just the USGS national map as my base layer. You can use whatever you want. Some like OpenStreetMaps. The Gaia has a great new street map. Where is that? Is that or somewhere? I don't know. The Mapbox Streets HD, that's a great one. It didn't really matter. I don't use Gaia when I have cell phone signal. I only use it when I'm off-road or away from cell towers, or actually on dirt. So if I'm on the interstate, if I'm in town, I'm using Google Maps. So I don't really care what this is. It just helps me if I'm struggling to find the area that I'm going for. It shows me all the interstates. It shows me all the city roads. It easily shows me the cities, so I can just find it easier. So that's why I use National Map. You can use whatever you want here. But really the two layers that I use the most are this UFSS Classic or the UFS 2016. It is down here in my list. Honestly, haven't found any difference between those two. I like the Classic only because it has a white background. The UFS 2016 has a green background. I just think the white is cleaner and easier to read when I'm out and about. And then the MVUM overlay. Having the MVUM overlay in Gaia is really the #1 reason to use it, if you will, in national forests, because the motor vehicle use map is the definitive document that tells you what is open and what is closed. The MVUM overlay in Gaia is a feed from the Forest Service, and so it's not anything that Gaia controls. They just pull the information in. And I will tell you, sometimes there are differences between the overlay and the actual MVUM layer, and I'll show you that in a little bit. So always verify your routes with the actual MVUM overlay. Otherwise, you know, if you happen to be on a trail that the Gaia MVUM overlay shows as open, but the recent map shows that it's closed, unfortunately, you're going to be at the discretion of the law enforcement officer as to whether or not he will just give you a warning or possibly give you a ticket. But just beware. And then the fourth layer that I use, that I discovered just recently, is this shaded relief. And I'll show you why. Let me zoom in here. So this is a zoomed in view of the Ozarks over in the Big Piney District here along North Fork, Illinois Bayou. And without this, if you can read a topo map, then this is good stuff. But if you struggle with all these little lines and knowing what's higher elevation and what's low elevation, I just love the way this shaded relief makes it pop. So I just turn it up to just a little bit, and you can see right there how much this makes the elevation changes pop on your screen. A lot of people ask, where do you find the MVUM overlay or all the other maps? That's the great thing about Gaia GPS, is especially with the premium subscription, is the vast amount of map layers you get. If you're in the web browser, go over here to the layers and overlays icon, click on it, go down here to add map layers. And here you have a ton of options for the US, cool historic stuff. If you're a hiker, these Nat Geo trail maps are incredible. Lot of options here. But go down here to the MVUM layer is found in the feature and weathers overlay section. A lot of neat stuff in here. If you're a photographer, this light pollution layer shows you the dark skies. Here's the MVUM layer. You even have precipitation forecasts. I've used this, it's actually pretty cool. Public land, I use that from time to time as well. Great to know if you're traveling through someone's private property or not. USFS recreation sites. I mean, there's so many options in here, wilderness areas. But that's where you find this stuff, is in the features and weathers overlay. On the tablet or on your iPhone or iPad or Android device, you go up here to the top corner here to the layers menu. You can see it looks a little bit different. I'm actually using the public land layer here. In this section, you go to add map layers, weathers and features overlay, and you find the exact same layers there. Let's say you do a route on the computer, and then you come into your mobile device. The layers aren't necessarily going to be the same. They are set up independently. So how you have your web browser set up can be different than how you have your tablet set up. So just know that. But this is where all of your different layers are. Like I said, I'm a minimalist. I don't like a lot of layers clogging up my screen or cluttering up my screen. So that's what I use, and that's why. It's served me very well for a number of years. and I just like to keep it simple. Let's talk about the routes and waypoints and whatnot. You can see I don't have anything showing here on the screen on the web browser. So the web browser, this is where the mobile device interface and the web browser interface really differs. On the web browser, you have one option, and that is to turn them all on or all off. You go here into your layers, into your map overlays, and all the waypoints I can turn on or off. Routes I can turn on or off. Tracks I can turn on or off. And I can't go in here and only toggle individual things on and off without clicking on them and then viewing it in a separate screen. And I don't really care for that. I mean, it's quick and easy for that, but on the iOS device, you can do that very same thing, go to map overlays and toggle everything on and off. But as you can see, when I toggled that, not everything came up. Only a few things came up. I'm going to go here to this little button there, go here to saved, and this lets me toggle things individually. I can turn that one on or off. I can turn high water mark route 3 on or off, day 2 on or off, day 1 on or off. And so I can toggle them individually and customize what I see on my screen, which is incredibly handy if you don't like a cluttered screen. So I'm going to click on that one. So there's day 2. What is this trip? Monday Crazy Water. I actually got that from someone to check it out. I'm going to turn that off. So I can hit that little eyeball and turn that off. That should be, that's Old Adventure Series, Overland Day 2. We turn that off. There we go. There's high water mark day 1, day 2, day 3. This is the new high water mark route that I created last year because all the ones you found online were out of date and particularly on closed trails. So I can totally customize what I see on my screen, and I love that. So that's a big advantage to the mobile device. So to find all of your routes and waypoints that do sync between the two devices, the web browser syncs to the mobile device and back and forth, which is super handy. On the web browser, you click on your name, and here's where you can get your tracks, routes, areas that you've downloaded, waypoints, photos if you've uploaded them, folders if you've created them, which I love to create folders. That's another video in and of itself. So I can go here, click on all my routes, and see what I've created. And here's folders I've put them in. Does show the date, but it doesn't allow me to toggle them on and off like it does in the mobile device, which is frustrating. On the mobile device, click up here to expand your screen, click here, and then you have routes, tracks, folders, which have entire groups, which has groupings of tracks and routes. You see there's high watermark 2019. It's in a folder, not just the individual tracks, and maps and areas and whatnot. So anyway, that's the difference between the two, and I really prefer the mobile device better, but it's not always as handy as the web browser. There is definitely pros and cons to both. So that's just kind of an overview of the interface, differences between mobile device and web browser, where to find your routes and your tracks, how to activate the layers, where to toggle them on and off, how to toggle your routes and tracks and waypoints on and off in each device, to help you out. Now let's talk about planning a route, how to do that. It's really not that difficult. I'll show you real quick here on the web browser, because I usually do all of my pre-planning on the web browser. And since I've got, let me check. Yep. I like to start all my planning with everything turned off to have a clean slate. So everything is turned off. So I'm going to just start a quick route. like I said, I'm in Arkansas, so I'm using Arkansas. But it's going to apply no matter where you are. Any national forest, this will apply to, or any route you want to create, this will apply to. So we're going to just go real quick. And I know this is a little town called Hector, popular spot right before you enter the national forest, just north of there. So I'm going to go here to the create route button, click it. Let's just start here in Hector so I can know where I am. And then what I'm going to do is I can zoom in here and just start clicking on the interstate or on the highway. I need to change this routing mode. You want to be driving, and for the most part it will auto click or auto lock to the road. So I'm gonna click here, I'll go up here, I'm going to go here, and let's say we want to then break off of the highway, and I want to take this Lindsay Road here. See, it's still clicked. Now I want to go here to the motor vehicle use map overlay, and let's see if it will snap. It did. However, there actually used to be an old road here, and for whatever reason it's snapping to that old trail that is no longer legal. So I'm going to click here and delete that section. Okay, I've told Gaia about this. It frustrates me that when you're building a route, it makes things kind of transparent, but you can see my screen is still really cluttered here. I don't like that. I've told them about it, but so far they haven't done anything about this. I want the ability to turn all this off. So I'm going to switch over to the tablet, because on the tablet I can turn everything on and off there, which is fantastic. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn all these off so that I'm starting with a clean slate, because when I'm out, I don't want to see everything I've done. When I'm planning, I don't want to see everything. Where am I? I'm on the napkins. Here we go. So let's start over here. All right, so here we are in Hector. We're going to start over here. I'm going to click the plus sign. And I'm going to do create route. It's going to drop the first pin. I'm going to click on it. Mode down here in the corner, driving. I love this icon of a Jeep. Yay, Jeep. I'm going to click here where I've put my dot, and I'm going to, that's going to automatically route me, getting pretty close to where I want to go. There it goes. And here's where I want to start venturing off-road. And so this Lindsay Road I know is a county road. Let's see if it does it. Yep, it's going to follow along. Here's where I want to take off down a Forest Service road. Not sure if see if it'll follow it. Okay, see, this is one of those things that's not going to follow this one for whatever reason. I'm just going to make straight lines. Now it's snapping, so we're good. And I'm gonna head up here. That was not gonna do it. So this doesn't make it difficult to follow when you're actually in your vehicle. So that gets me back to the highway. That is just a very short, quick route. That's a great little trail. Then I go here to save. I can give it a name, and it will sync up to all of my devices. But that's real quick. I mean, it's super simple to make a route. The key to making any route is to just verify that where you're going is legal, especially in the National Forest. So let me show you real quickly my process for that. One of the things in my first videos that has changed is how the MVM layer looks. It used to be color-coded. Green was open to all vehicles, yellow was highway legal vehicles only, and red was OHV only. That actually confused a lot of people because they thought red means closed, green means it's good, and that's not actually how it worked. So what they've done is now the maps the MVM overlay looks exactly like the official MVM. So it makes it really easy to compare. So here I am in Gaia on the web browser with the MVM overlay for this area. I've already got it loaded here. Nope, that's it. I've already got it loaded here. This is the same area. Unfortunately, the Forest Service PDF file is crap right now. It's not very high resolution for whatever reason, so you can see all these pixels and it drives me nuts. But you can see here's this little windy road here, and here's the same road here. And the way the MVM works is if it's on the map, it's legal. If it's not on the map, that means it's a closed trail and you are not allowed to go on it. And so you can see it's got the county roads on here. They're the little thin gray lines. And then it's got these dashed lines, which means open to all vehicles, highway legal, and OHV, ATV side-by-sides, whatnot. And then the solid lines here are highway legal only. And then this area up here, there's these dashed lines, that is OHV only. Moccasin Gap is a popular OHV area. Highway legal vehicles like Jeeps are not allowed there. So if I were to plan only in Gaia, you can see, I would come here, but you can see this road right here shows that it's open. Crosses the creek here, crosses the creek again here, and reconnects back up here to this road. Gaia shows that it's open, or the MVM layer in Gaia shows that it's open. Unfortunately, the 2020 maps just came out for our area back in February, and we are now April 6th, and this still hasn't been updated. But if you look at the actual MVM map, here's that area, and there's no road through here anymore. It was taken off because it goes through private property, and there was kind of some dispute there. You can see this slightly faded white spot here. That's the private property. And so because they had that dispute with the landowner, they removed it from the map. So that's not legal anymore. But if I wasn't comparing my potential route to the actual motor vehicle use map, I could potentially get a ticket if I was on this trail right here. Another way to check is with it's called the IVM, or the interactive visitor map. The interactive visitor map, you can see here, great thing about it is you can tell it what you want to do. So if I select highway legal, which is for a Jeep in my case, it will highlight everything in yellow that is legal, and everything that is closed will be red, have X's, and clearly say road closed. So here's that exact same trail, and as you can see, it is closed. So the IVM is very helpful to be able to compare. I've heard there's some differences between the IVM and the MVM. The MVM, the motor vehicle use map, is the only official document for what's open and what's closed. If there's a difference between the MVM and the IVM, the interactive visitor map, which is what this is, the MVM is what is the legal document. So just know that when you're planning. I personally like to use all three because on the IVM, it makes it easier to tell what's closed. You also have streams that you can see on the IVM, typography on the IVM, whereas the motor vehicle use map is devoid of any features that help other than roads. So that's just a quick summary of how I route plan and the tools that I use to do so, and then how to actually lay out that route in Gaia. The last thing I want to cover real quick is now that you have your route planned, you know the interface, you're ready to go out and hit the trails. How do you get the maps to your device so that when you lose cell signal, you're fine? That's actually a super easy process. So, all right, so I'm in my mobile device here. I've got the area that I want to download. So all I'm gonna do is hit the plus sign and do download maps. As you can see, I've got some areas downloaded over here to the left side of the screen. But all I gotta do is drag this to cover the area that I wanna go to. It's just that simple. You can adjust the zoom level, how close you can zoom in with that downloaded info. You can see the max zoom here at the top goes from 9 to 16. There's 16 is, I mean, you can, but I'm very happy with 15, and I can zoom in pretty close. You can also see up here in the upper right-hand corner how big this download is going to be. And this is going to download everything that you have selected in your layers. So for me, it's going to be the national map, the USFS classic map, the shaded relief, and the MVM overlay. And the public lands, because I've got those on my tablet. And that'll tell you how big it is. So if I download this entire area, it's going to take up 283 megs. That may be a lot for you, it may not. I've got entire sections of states downloaded. It's just that simple. If you have, a newer device, like I use an iPhone 11. This is my wife's. I'm doing this recording on my wife's tablet, her iPad Pro. I just use my iPhone 11 Pro Max. The screen is plenty big. I used to just use whatever iPhone I had because it worked perfect for me. I don't need a big giant screen up there in my dash. Some people like that, I don't. So it's all about personal preference. The tablet works great. My iPhone works great. My wife actually has a small Android tablet that she uses in her Jeep that works perfect. So all I have to do now is hit save, and I can give it a name, hit save, and it's gonna start downloading. Do this at home over Wi-Fi because sometimes it does take a little while. Depending on how large of an area that you're covering. I've got files that are like a gig to cover certain areas of Colorado. I have the entire Ozark National Forest downloaded as one big chunk, so that takes up some space. So definitely do this over Wi-Fi, and don't try to do this while you're driving and hope that it's going to download. You can actually click on this and it will show you what all is downloading. So MVM, public lands, shaded relief, UFSF classic, and the national map, and give you a progress bar, and you can tell when it's done. So just do it at home over Wi-Fi. That's it in this video. Hopefully that has helped get you started in Gaia. I'll make another video showing some other features that I use, but these are really the basics of what you need to get out there and plan your routes and go out and hit the trails and have fun. So hope this helped. If you have any other questions, put them in the comment section below. I'll put links to the different resources that I had here in the description below. And yeah, hopefully this helps. Let me know. And hopefully I'll see you out on the trail. Oh, I think it's like a thing now. You're supposed to say, like the video, subscribe to my channel, share it with others. So yeah, if you want to do that, appreciate it.